And so the style was born, a style that Eric Thompson honed to perfection, as each of his different characters underwent the transformation from French to British.
This is a quintessentially English sensibility. Now, isn't this bizarre? Because these are French puppets being animated by a French director, and yet we're unconscious of that, because what we're conscious of is Eric Thompson bringing the whole thing into this British style of humour.
This, said Dougal, is the wine-making tub. Oh. I see. Oh, it's like that, is it? All right. Okay, then. Get on, then, squeaky breeks.
I think there were kind of jokes that went over the head of kids because they didn't realise the significance of them, but they had this built-in nostalgia which appealed to the adults. So when Dougal whizzes in and says, "I've arrived, and to prove it I'm here," adults of a certain age would think, "Oh, yes, I know where that comes from." And that's what Tommy Hanley used to say in It, Mars.
Florence arrived. "Oh, you've arrived," said Dougal. "And to prove it, you're here."
Thompson created a very British cast of characters drawn from contemporary culture. Dougal is a combination of a dour Scot, hence the name, and one of the foremost comedians of the time.
"How do I look?" said Dougal. "Chic? Elegant? That's what I was promised."
Who is Dougal but Tony Hancock? There's that type of character, the character that we associate with Tony Hancock. The pompous, the self-important, the opinionated, the person who uses grandiloquent phrases when he doesn't really understand what he's saying.
Does Magna Carta mean nothing to you? Did she die in vain?
But Eric kind of subsumed that and made it into something reminiscent of Tony Hancock, but a bit different, a bit more personal.
And somebody once said that Dougal was Alf Garnett's moustache out for a walk, which I think is brilliant.
"What's your name?" said Dougal. "Brian," said the snail. "Brian?" said Dougal. "Snails aren't called Brian. Snails are mollusks." "Aren't you funny?" said the snail.
Brian was him, I think. Cheerful and optimistic and very irritating.
"Hey," said Brian, "come quickly." Florence went. "Look," said Brian, "I just asked him if he'd take a cheque and he fainted." "Sugar," said Florence.
Ah, Florence. Well, what is Florence? I think Florence is a bit like Christopher Robin in the Winnie the Pooh stories. You know, she is this pole of normalcy. She is the centre around which this whirl of strange, eccentric characters carry out their adventures. She is the person that roots it. She is us, in a way.
"I don't know what's going on," said Florence. "Who does?" said Dougal.
The first programme, which the BBC had decided to call The Magic Roundabout, went on air just before the news on the 18th of October, 1965.
And Zebedee seemed to know all about Mr. Rusty's trouble, about the roundabout, and no children, and no magic, and all that. And he told Mr. Rusty he would make everything all right again. And he did. As you will see tomorrow.
The real success came, in a sense, from the scheduling, because Doreen had a lot of respect from above in the planning and the controllers, and it was her idea to strip it across the week. This hadn't been done before, so you had a chance of cottoning on to it by watching every night, and it becomes addictive. It's a great mistake not to exploit people's appetite for habit.
The first episodes followed a storyline ending each day with a cliffhanger, guaranteed to hook young minds.
"Tell them whoever catches the balloon will get a special surprise," said Zebedee. Yes, whoever catches the balloon, said Mr. Rusty, will get a special surprise. And who caught it, and what the surprise was, we shall see. Tomorrow.
The crucial time slot was at the insistence of the French, who had seen the merit of broadcasting the programme in front of the evening news.
Why did that work? I presume it worked because we had both children and parents at the same time. And it's a nice combination because then it became a family program. You know, that was the situation.
So I'd be rushing about doing whatever it was, and Gran and the kids would be watching. I can't remember whether Dad did or whether he was available. Yes, he would, because he'd want to watch the news, the 6 o'clock news.
Hello, Dougal, said Florence. Oh, I'm so excited. Me, a film star. Hello, Brian. I am a camera, said Brian.
I don't think anyone, Eric or Doreen, realised that it would have such a huge appeal. But it was pretty quick to make its appeal, and it was watched in pubs and by judges, and people were delighted to find something that had a universal appeal.
The BBC had a hit on its hands, but even they didn't realise how big a hit until they moved the series to an earlier time. Suddenly, the children's opinion vehicle Junior Points of View was deluged with letters from angry grown-ups.
I hope that at the age of 20 I am not too old to write to your programme. I am a dedicated Dougal fan, and I may probably never see him again, as I don't get home from work until 5:15. What about the workers? May I, as a dad, express my grief? I used to cancel business appointments in order to be home for this programme. We, that is my 16-month-old daughter and I, found the programme jolly good. 3 uncheers for the man who rearranged the programmes. We are crossing him off our list for Christmas cards. Pay freeze, £50 travel allowance, high taxes, and now you've altered the time of the magic roundabout. What else are we children over 30 going to be deprived of? What about the millions of older children who only finish work at around 5 o'clock and rush home from their offices and factories? This programme is just